I don't want Singapore to turn into Madrid. Overnight, nobody's in the street. I'm sure we don't want that to happen.
I arrived back to Singapore on the 20th of March and I've since completed my 14-day stay-home self-isolation.
It's been about 3 weeks since I've been back to Singapore and I have already finished serving my LOA.
I have been tested negative for the virus and I just finished serving my stay-home notice.
I'm doing my 14-day stay-home notice in a hotel. I am on day 4 and I have been tested negative for COVID-19.
I'm currently serving my last day of SHN.
I finished serving my self-isolation. Because of the circuit breaker, I will also not be going out as much anyway.
During my self-isolation, I had a very unproductive first week. But the week after that, I started waking up earlier. Starting my day earlier really helped me feel a lot more productive.
Just wrote down stuff that I wanted to do. Clean up my room and read more, write more, learn a hobby or two.
I also started to find more hobbies like drawing or playing instruments and things that will keep me occupied during this whole period.
In terms of keeping healthy, I've also been using an app called Center, which has many different workouts of various styles like boxing to bring some variety into keeping healthy.
I would like to say that it's okay to be unproductive for the first few days or the few weeks even, because it's hard to transition to a whole new routine. Trying to adapt a new lifestyle is very tiring, so it's okay to rest.
I think everything has really been overwhelming me a lot. I've been not sleeping. It's more about being scared about the future because we really don't know what will happen, and I saw what happened in Madrid and things can really change overnight.
I think we've come to realize that the situation out there changes every day and planning too far ahead will only give you anxiety. Just really planning out every day step by step and not try and think too far into the future.
I felt a lot of this feeling of my whole exchange experience being robbed away from me. Felt a lot of anger in that. I realized that I wasn't alone in feeling that way because everyone else also had some experiences taken away from them.
I remember just being so worried. I wasn't sure how I was going to graduate on time. And I guess, because you're alone so much that you just keep thinking about these thoughts. I think a lot of us always have this mentality that, I shouldn't get to complain about my problems because someone else out there is having it worse than me. But I think you should know that your feelings are absolutely valid. Your concerns and your worries are some things that you need to come to terms with yourself. And talking to people helps you kind of realize what steps you can take next. Or even just releasing those feelings.
Instead of complaining about what could have been or what I missed out on, I decided to focus my thoughts into thoughts of gratitude.
Being in SHN, there were times that I also felt lonely, but with the technology of today, I was just a click away from connecting with my loved ones or friends online.
Social distancing doesn't mean emotionally disconnecting with your friends.
Although it feels like you're alone, you're really not, and everyone is also going through the same thing.
Being at home alone, I started thinking about the worst case situations and started worrying about what if I actually have the virus. I would look up news articles to check symptoms or to check people without symptoms and how they could still actually carry the virus. All that feeding on bad news made me even more stressed and worried that I could have the virus.
When I heard that one of the exchange students from NUS was confirmed to be positive, I was constantly paranoid if I might be a carrier as well, even if I show no symptoms.
How I overcame it was I only looked at the headlines of the news to just keep myself in the know of what's going on around me, but I didn't go into detail.
Personally, I chose to come back to Singapore because I thought that people would take the virus more seriously here, but the past few days have shown me that some people don't really see the importance of social distancing, and seeing that made me feel quite upset.
And I don't want Singapore to turn into Madrid. It's a lively city. People are always walking around, lounging in the sun. Overnight, nobody's in the street. I'm sure we don't want that to happen. And if we don't want that to happen, we need to take some responsibility.
One person staying home can break the pattern of the virus spreading around.
I really want to thank you for sticking it out because it's so important. General anxiety of everyone is reduced if we don't see so many unlinked cases.
If you have the means to do so, do try to contribute to the initiatives that are helping the more vulnerable communities such as migrant workers, the homeless, and also the elderly, because they are the ones who need our help during these trying times.
Right now, we do see a good number of migrant workers being in quarantine, so they need our help the most because they do not have the welfare and the benefit as what Singaporeans have.
And I would just like to add to remember to check in on your friends and family during this time. especially since some people have lost their jobs or are just going through a lot of uncertainty or anxiety and stress during this period. I think that we can be strong support systems for them during this time.
I'm grateful for all the healthcare workers and even their families because they are risking their lives every day to save lives.
I feel like a huge thank you should be given to all the essential workers.
For the cashiers, for bankers, for our MPs.
People at the hawker centres who are still serving us, hotel staff, and of course teachers who have taken all their classes online. Just everyone who has really played a part.
Despite this stressful and this scary time, that they are still out there working and doing their best every day. The least we can do to show our gratitude is to stay at home.
It is not easy, it is tough, and it has been a tedious 4 months. But I think if we continue to work harder, okay, will come a day where we can fully declare that we're out of this pandemic season. So let's work together as one.